paper and on my arm. So today I am kind of excited because I have officially entered my Pokemon era. I've never been into Pokemon before. My kids were and are like, who isn't, right? And so I've been learning how to draw different Pokemon and paint them. And so what I usually do, just to kind of give you a little insight to my process, is I draw them. So this week I did Mew, and next I'm thinking of doing Psyduck. I'm not sure what I did the day before. Oh, soccer balls. But anyways, so I like to doodle them before I paint them. So today we're gonna be doing Mew. Let's get ready. I like to do something cute in my ugly tattoo because let's be honest, it's so ugly. It's so ugly. So let's give it a cute face real quick. I'm only gonna be here for about 30 minutes. I feel like that's a pretty good sweet spot. So if you're watching the replay, sit down, relax, and enjoy watching me paint Mew. And if you're here and you're a face painter, then this should be fun for you to watch a little bit of my process on how I figure something out and then paint it over and over so I can get really good at it. There's certain things that kids will ask me for at events that are too intricate to paint at parties. But the way I see it is if I practice them a lot and I can get really fast, why not, Timmy? Why not? If you want me to paint a Pokemon, I should be able to, right? So those are some of my self goals that I give, to myself. Self goals that I give to myself. So I'm just finishing my cover, camouflaging my ugly tattoo real quick. And then we're going to get started. We're going to paint Mew. There we go. Now it looks more presentable. Okay, now I can look at it. All right, so let's get started. So Mew has a really interesting little shape. Everything, when you can break it down into shapes, it's just a bunch of shapes put together, right? So let's get started. I'm going to be using, in case you're curious, my 12 color wolf palette. It looks all derpy because I use it every day. It's my personal palette. I don't take this to gigs. And that's why it looks like that. It looks all mixy because I like to mix colors. So we're gonna get started with Mew. If you want, I can even put it here so you can see how I blend. It's a little annoying because the colors pop off, like the little cake pans like pop off when I'm using them. You see, it's not the most convenient little palette, but it works. So what I like to do from you is I like to use a toned down version of the pink. So my brush is loaded up with water and I'm just gonna activate the paint. Water activated paint, face paint is activated with water. So you gotta take a second to activate it and get it into your brush, okay? So just take a minute, do that proper. Once I have the pink that I want in my brush, I'm gonna start mixing it a little bit with the white because I want it to be light pink. There's a buildup that happens in face painting, and if you learn how to do that buildup of layers, it's way cooler. Okay, so now I have a pink that I like. The paint is activated properly, so let's go. And let's see how I do. Ready? And if you're here and you love Pokemon and you want to see me paint one of your favorites, let me know what that is. I'm in my entering my Pokemon season in life and I want to learn all about them. And so far I've only been doing the ones that I know about, that I've heard about, that are kind of more popular. Okay, so first we do kind of like a oval-ish shape, and then Mew has this like muzzle that comes out. So we're gonna fill that in, and then the ears are kind of on the sides. So I'm gonna do the shape of the ears. And if you're scrolling by and you have to go, come back and see my progress, okay? Okay, so we do ear number one. Now, one of the cool things about face paint is because you're layering, things get covered up. So if you make mistakes, guess what? You can fix them. And it's pretty awesome. Okay, so here we go. Now that I have the shape of the head, which I will continue to work on. This is just kind of like the beginning, you know? I know he needs cheeks that are more chipmunky. I know it's not a chipmunk. Chill. Okay, so now we're gonna be doing the body. I started a little low, so I'm probably gonna be going down into this area over here. So I'm looking at a reference photo because I'm not that good, okay? And I see that there's a little line that starts kind of in the center of his muzzle, and then it comes down kind of like a drop. Drop. Now, Mew's head is bigger in comparison to the proportion of his body, so I'm gonna try to keep that. And then he's got this thick thigh over here, thick thigh Mew, and then this side of his neck kind of goes more on the outside of the muzzle, so you kind of guide yourself with other body parts, you know? And then, now that I have this kind of settled, I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the belly. If you go in order, things look neater when you're done. So try to go in order, you know, like don't be all sloppy. Hello, Millie. Thanks for popping in. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the other side, the other little thigh. And then the arms are kind of like a curve up here. We do want to leave some space for the neck. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just start here and go all the way across. And that makes sure that I have these stubby little cute arms as opposed to these long non-Mew arms. You know what I mean? Okay, and then we're gonna turn my brush. Oh, and right now I'm just using a number 4 round brush. Number 4 is such a fun size of brush because you can do so many things with it. Okay, so now I have the head, the arms, the belly, the thighs. Let's get those hind legs. So I'm going to do this leg first. So I can see that Mew's thigh kind of gets thin over here. And then the leg, the foot kind of starts back here. So I'm just putting little markers. And these help me make sure that I don't do some crazy thing, you know? And now that I have this, I'm going to go ahead and do Mew's super long feet. I can always fix things if I mess up. This looks a little too big for what I was going for. Like I would probably eliminate that, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm just gonna go use a good old baby wipe because it's faster. Sometimes I use a brush with water, but let's just kind of eliminate. There we go. See, that looks more proper. That looks way more proper. Now we're gonna leave this guy alone for a minute, but not before I fill it in. Okay, there we go. And now I'm gonna do the other foot. We're gonna go this way. Now the other foot kind of stops around here, so, and it's curved and it goes behind this. So I'm just gonna go like this, and like that. There we go. Meow, 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 meow. Okay, so now we have a pretty general shape of Mew. Now what's next is the tail. So let's go ahead and get the tail. And if you want to see the fast version of what I'm painting right now, you can go to my channel. And I have, I think it's a 40-second version of this. Where you could see the full process way faster. Ooh, wrong placement. See, I was chatting it up and I was not paying attention. So delete my good old eraser over here. Let's get rid of that. Let's try again. So the tail goes here. So we're going to try to maintain that. Proportions matter. You know what I'm saying? Proportions and placement matter, especially when you're painting something that's already exists. No pressure, right? Okay, so this comes out on the other side of his muscle. And it's kind of like a friendly blade. I don't know what that shape is. Friendly blade. That's a new shape I invented. What shape is it? It's the shape of a friendly blade. Okay. So it's a little thick and then it thins out like this. Friendly blade. I present you. Again, this is a little too big. But what else? Let's keep moving. Okay, now we have general Pokemon and I can't help myself. So I'm going to fix that. There we go. Friendly blade has been fixed. It's not a blade, I know. Just sometimes it's hard to describe things, so I have to make it up. I don't know all the words, so come up with some words that make sense to me. Okay, we have the entire shape of Mew right now, so the next part is doing some layering and some shading. I like to call shading shaping because it really does shape things up for you, you know? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to use the same brush, but I'm going to start darkening the pink. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some gray to do the more gray areas on Mew. So I'm going to use that same pink brush and I'm going to start blending some gray into it and putting it back in the pink and going back in the gray until I get a shade that I like. And I got it. Hello, thank you, Dance Studios. I appreciate that. I want to dance with you. Hey, I can really dance. Okay, so now that I started, I see that it's not as dark as I want it to be. So I'm going to pick up some more gray. And there we go. And Mew has, gray all throughout its tail. So I'm going to go all the way up into the friendly blade shape up here and just darken that up a little bit, okay? Okay, so there we go. So now that's a little darker. And then the next step is we're going to do some shading on the other body parts too. I could go a little darker if I wanted to. I guess I can. Why not, right? Okay, so I'm going to do some shading on the entire lower facing body parts of Mew. So I'm going to go ahead and fill those in. And this is one of those parts where you have to trust the process, you know? You might be looking at what I'm doing going, what are you doing, lady? You're ruining it. But you have to trust that when I finish putting the last layer, this is all going to make sense in your mind, okay? So don't be scared. It's all going to be okay. So we're basically doing all the shading on the bottom. That in turn shapes the character. So now we got some shaping on the bottom here. So now we know that Mew's head probably protrudes. Protrudes? Protrudes? I don't know how to say that. English is my second language, okay? Okay, so we're going to do kind of like a rounded shape here. And we want it to go into the arms too. Okay, and then we're going to do the back of the ears. And if you're hearing a refrigerator noise, it's my water machine, okay? I like water, so I'm not going to turn that off. Okay, now we're shaping the face. My English is not Englishing, exactly. It's so funny. It does look like pants. You're right. It does look like pants. But yeah, this is one of those parts where you have to like really just trust, you know? Otherwise, I've gotten to the point sometimes where I erase things. I'm like, no, 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 no. But then I learned like you just gotta keep going sometimes. Sometimes it seems like you're going in the wrong direction with something. And really all you have to do is push through. Okay, so we've done all the dark shaping, aka shading. So now I'm gonna kind of clean off some of the gray from my brush. It still has some pink because now I'm gonna go lighter. This is the part where I grab the Pinky Winky. No, not Pinky Winky. Pinky Winky is the name of a rainbow cake. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the pink again. And now I'm really gonna mix it with white. Like I want more white than ever before. I want it to be super light pink, like almost white, you know? And this is the part where, again, trust the process. Imagine there's a light source coming from here. And that's why I'm doing all the highlights on one side. So we're going to do the top of this ear. If my brush starts to dry up, I just dip it in water and it reactivates the paint. I love face paint. Brush supposed to be black or white. This is a black brush with black bristles. Look, I'll show you a clean one. This is a fully clean brush. It has black bristles. I love black bristle brushes. These are my favorite. It just looks neater. It looks more professional, you know? I'm a professional face painter. I do events and stuff, so I don't like when my setup looks messy. I always think if I was this mom in this line and I saw this messy face painter, I wouldn't let my kids get face painted. I'd be like, let's go, Timmy. Not today. We have face paint at home. I just wouldn't. That's just me being honest. You know, to each his own. But I don't like it. So I try to use supplies that stay clean and neat. The paints you see here is my personal stash. I don't use these at events. My personal paints are spotless. Okay, so now what I'm doing is doing some little highlights. Timmy. Yeah, Timmy is the name that I use when I talk about children. Okay, it's my general name for children. Now we're doing some highlights on their feet. It's 9:12, so now that I'm almost done adding some highlights on the body, I'm gonna go ahead and do the eyeballs and then outline. Outline is always my favorite part. It's the most satisfying part. Okay, so now I'm gonna switch brushes. I'm gonna use my white brush. I already started using it when I did my super camouflage. I'm running out of white. I need to. I have a new palette. I just realized I bought a new palette and it's sitting in my drawer. Okay, so if you join me on my next stream, you can unwrap my brand new 12 color wolf palette with me and we can use it together. Okay. Probably gonna go live again very, very soon. Usually I do this early in the mornings. Today I kind of woke up late. So I was so tired yesterday. But typically I'm an early bird. So if you're here in the mornings, stop by. And if you're here and you're watching, it would be awesome if you could subscribe and then we could be friendsies. I have hundreds of little videos of me painting adorable little things on my arm. Every possible cartoon you can imagine. I love cartoons. Those eyes that are on the star. Ah, yes. My lives are in the mornings. In the mornings. I used to go live every day. And then life started lifing. But things are getting settled again and I'm ready. I'm ready to come back and do this all the time. I used to do this on TikTok. I was there every morning. But TikTok has gotten weird and I don't trust it. Every 6 months they're like, it's getting deleted and it's too much stress for me. So you can't go wrong on YouTube. YouTube is eternal. Am I right? Do it in the morning. I can't do it because you have school and ballet and art. Ooh, nice. My brain isn't braiding. Hi, Danielle. Let's see. It says Danielle. I don't know if I missed it. Thank you, Danielle. Oh, I just saw. Aw. Okay, here we go. Let's do some eyeballs because I do have to go to work. I usually leave my house at 9:30 and it's getting kind of close. And I like to make my coffee and wash some grapes and, you know, get to work on time. Okay. Well, Dance, if you are going to have summer vacation coming up soon, then you can catch my lives. And if not, I also try to go on the weekends. But I love that you do so many cool things. You do art and all that stuff. That's awesome. Keep it up. Those are the good things in life. You got to enjoy. Okay, so now I'm going to do Mew's eyes. Mew has blue eyes, but he has two colors. Hello, Yasmin. You have a ballet concert? That's awesome. I love ballet. I was never a ballet dancer, but I can appreciate how hardcore it is. It's not easy. And dancers make it look so easy, which I guess that's the skill, right? You work really hard at what you do so you can make it look easy. And I love that. Keep it up. Okay, so first I start with light blue and then I'm going to add the dark blue on top so that it has kind of like a gradient. You used to do tap. Tap is hard. I remember I used to think that I could tap dance because I love like Gene Kelly and um oh my god, all the names are escaping me right now. Fred, what's his face? You know who I'm talking about. Anyways, and I would always think, I want to tap dance, I want to tap dance. So when my kids were little, one time I put them in dance. And there was a day where it was like Parents' Day, and they brought out all the tap shoes, and they're like, okay, parents, you can tap dance. Let me tell you, I put on those tap shoes. it, was, it was so bad. What a joke I was. I couldn't believe I really thought I would be able to do that. Somebody's home. Who could it be? Who could it be? Let's find out. Somebody's here. Who is it? Hi. Guess what I'm doing? I'm live on the Ubity Tubity. Yeah. My beautiful Ali just got home. Say hi, Ali.
Are you on live? Hey, bro!
Yeah.
Friends!
Hi, Fred,
Sorry.
friend. Oh, it's okay. We have a little dog, and his name is Fred, and I love him. I think I might be slow because I thought you were saying tap the screen to dance. You're so funny. I think it's just early and you're tired, you know? Okay, so now that I have some blue on there, it's 9:18. So now I have basically 12 minutes. Hi, Fredonko. His name is Fred and he's adorable and he's on my legs right now. So I usually give my doodles a soul at the very, very end. So we're going to do my favorite part right now. We're going to outline. And when I'm done outlining, I'll add a few highlights. I'll do a big white outline on the outside and then we'll call it a day. Okay. Okay. So here we go. You just got back from school. Nice. Okay. So typically I do like a big white outline around. I'll do it at the end. Sometimes I do it before I do the black outline, but I don't want. I don't want to do that. Okay, so here we go. When I use the very first stroke of black paint, I try to do it in an area that's not um, the on the forefront. So I don't want to start with black on the face because what if my paint rebels and then I ruin the whole thing? So I like to start somewhere more inconspicuous. So we're gonna start with the thigh and see how this paint is behaving. Okay, so now I see that it's behaving well. I can go ahead and outline the whole shebangy bang. Okay, so one of my goals when I outline is to do it all with one brush load. It doesn't always work out, but when it does, it's the best. So now this is the part where I have to focus the most. Sometimes I hold my breath because it helps me do things better. So if you don't hear me talking, it's because I am one focused lady. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You know, it's an ugly tattoo that I got once and I like doing faces on it before I start painting because it just looks cuter, you know? But one day when I have a bunch of money, I'm going to cover it up with something more adorable. Okay, so now we're outlining the eyes. No pressure, right? Okay. And then Mew has these cute little lines up here. Whew. Okay, so I don't know if you've noticed, but I still have not reloaded my brush. I'm still using the same original um, load that I started with. Isn't that fun? So that's one of the things that I practiced a lot when I started face painting was how to activate my paints and how to load my brushes properly so that I could paint as long as I could with the same brush load. So if you watch any of the videos on my channel, you're going to see that I do a lot of cuts when I edit, but the unedited version of my videos looks like this. It's me gamifying painting things. Teddy and Coco. Oh, and yours is Sugar. Oh, that's so cute. I used to have a puppy. Her name was Gigi. And Gigi passed a few months ago, and my heart's still broken from that one. I was thinking of maybe one day getting a Gigi tattoo. She was in dog life. She was the love of my life. And okay, so now that I finished the tail, now I'm gonna reload my brush because now it's when the bristles start to split. That means it's time to reload. Okay. I know it was very sad. It was very sudden. She was only 7. It was unexpected. Um, so she lives on in my heart and on my phone screen. I have a lot of videos of her, so I try to think of the happy things, you know? I try to not reduce her life to her last days that were so sad. So that really helps, you know? Yeah. Okay, so now we have sorry to be a Debbie Downer. Let's bring it back to something happy. And you know, it's just nice when you lose somebody or a pet to talk about them because they existed, they were real. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's nice that we can share with each other and tell each other about important people and pets that were part of our lives, you know? You had a dog that passed away, but he was 17. Wow. Yeah, it is sad. 17 is amazing. That must have been like the happiest dog ever to live that long, right? Okay, so now that we have the entire shape and it's 9:23, I am going to do the white outline around it and I'm going to give it a soul because it doesn't have a soul right now. So let's do that first. This is how you give your doodles a soul. Ta-da! See, he has a soul. And now we're going to do a white outline that I like to do because I feel like it adds kind of like a stickerify. When I'm face painting at events and I tell the kids, I'm like, "You want me to turn it into a sticker?" They're always like, "Yeah!" And they love when I do this because then it doesn't look like just like a doodle on their arm, you know? It just looks like something way cooler, like we're more thought out. I'm gonna fix that. Sometimes I do that. I'll go over the black line by mistake and then I go back in and fix it real quick. So don't be scared. Don't you be scared. I've also learned that the faster you do this, the better. You don't give yours a soul. Yes, it is. I say that a lot. I say that a lot. They give your things a soul. Yeah, I used to live stream every single day for about a year and a half on TikTok. And then life got a little difficult and I had to stop. But now things are coming together again and I'm excited because I love YouTube. And YouTube is so stable, you know? And there's so many cool people of all different ages, which I love. Like you could be talking to, you know, a 60-year-old, or you could be talking to a 7-year-old, and they're both just as awesome. So we don't have to tell each other how old we are, but we can enjoy each other's company, and I love that. Okay, so now we're almost done. When I finish doing this, I usually add some highlights around the body just to make it look a little more cartoony. But you see what a cute difference that makes? And then I like to do kind of like a little splatter. You don't have TikTok? Yeah, it doesn't. It's good. Don't get it. Oh, I'm sorry, Hannah. That's so sad. That's so sad. Yes, right? Danielle's like the wait, is this Danielle from back in the day? I don't know. I used to have buddies that would come and join me every single day, which was really fun. But sometimes I forget names, you know, because I'm human and I forget things. And if it's not Danielle from back in the day, nice to meet you, Danielle. Okay. So I add these like little splattery looking things. Like so. Okay, and now let's do some highlights. I could take a second to fix the black lines that I covered when I did my super amazing sticker. Maybe I need a new fridge. That fridge sounds like it's struggling. I gotta tell my landlord, like, hey, landlady, would you be so kind as to get me a brand new refrigerator? Okay, in an effort to not ruin all my hard work, I'm gonna switch to a very small number 2 brush for the last highlights. And then we're gonna be calling it a day. Oh, now you have a kitten. Yay, Sasha. Ooh. Sasha's a cool name. Okay, so this is the part where I add some highlights. I want to stick to the side of Mew that already has highlights. I don't want to be all rando about it because then I'll ruin it. Light source matters, you know? Okay, so this is the side that has highlights. Maybe we'll do one here. Sometimes when I do highlights and I don't like them, I cover them up too. Okay? Yeah, it's a fridge groove. Mr. Fluffington the third. That is a really good pet name. Now I have a fish. His name is Blub. And I called him Blub because when I first got him, somebody gave him to me for my birthday. I asked him his name and he said Blub. So that's his name. Okay, and here we go. We have a completed Mew. This is the whole shebangy bang. If you want to see the fast version of this, you can go on my channel and see like a 40-second video of me doing the same character and subscribe. I have hundreds and hundreds of these. Guys, I have been painting on my arm for, I'm going to say, a good 4 years probably by now. So it would be awesome if we could become friendsies and you could subscribe and check out some of my videos. I do this because I love art. I love to paint. I love cartoons. And I just officially entered my Pokemon era. So I've been doing Pokemons every day this week and I'm going to keep going because I love them. They're so exciting. They're so fun. They're such cute little characters and I like to learn about them. Which by the way, did you know? Let me give you a fun fact. Let me see if I can find it. Did you know that Mew, where is it? Hold on. Don't leave me. I'm trying to give you guys some fun facts. Here we go. Mew is, no, no, hold on. Bear with me. I have some fun facts here. Did you know that Mew is only 1 foot tall? Just 1 foot tall. And that it weighs 8 pounds? How funny is that? It's a new species, and the ability is to synchronize. So I thought you might want to know that in case you didn't know. All right, so those were some fun facts about Mew. So please make sure you sub. Let's be buddies. I will be back. I'm gonna try to come back tomorrow, and as much as I can because I love doing this. But it was so nice to hang out with you and learn a little bit about you all and learn about some of your adorable pets and share a little moment with you. If you're curious, I used my 12 color palette from Wolf FX. I have links to all these things on my website, um, carolinathedoodler.com. All right, my buddies, I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you for tuning in from beginning to end. We were once a bunch of strangers, but now you're all my friends. Have an amazing day and see you next time. Ta ta!